In part 1, we discovered that the difference between the rich and the poor doesn't start in the bank. It starts in the mind. But the deeper truth? Mindset alone is not enough. There are other hidden rules. Rules about how you manage your money, your time, your relationships, and the way you see yourself. And the question now is not, do you want to become wealthy? The real question is, are you ready to completely change the way you think? Because from this moment on, we're not just talking about money, we're talking about the identity that creates money. So let's move calmly. To Rule 6. The rich move despite fear. The poor wait for it to disappear. Fear is a natural human emotion. But the real difference is not who feels fear, it's who takes action despite it. The poor wait for fear to go away, but fear never truly disappears. It only shrinks when you face it. The rich don't wait to feel fully ready. They move while afraid and grow stronger along the way. And you might ask, is there someone who acted despite fear and completely changed their life? Let's look at a real story. Was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, United States, 1964. He grew up in an ordinary family and excelled in math and science. At 30 years old, he had a prestigious job on Wall Street, with a high salary and a secure future. But he felt an inner calling for a new idea: selling books online. He was afraid, but he didn't wait for fear to disappear. He resigned from his job and found it in his garage. Today, in his 60s, he has changed the way the world shops. And now, if you move despite fear, how do you treat yourself when you fail? This brings us calmly to Rule 7. Rule 7. The rich learn from failure. The poor surrender to it. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a point in the middle of it. The poor see failure as proof of incompetence, while the rich see it as a lesson, as data, as valuable information money can't buy. You might naturally ask, is there someone who failed many times before succeeding? Let's move to an inspiring story. Was born in Milan, Ohio, United States, 1847. He grew up in a modest environment and was removed from school because he was considered slow. When trying to invent the light bulb, he failed more than 1,000 times. But instead of saying, "I failed," he said, "I discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." In the end, he changed the world with his invention. And now, if failure becomes your teacher, how do you see yourself compared to others? This brings us to Rule 8. Rule 8. The rich admire successful people. The poor envy them when you see someone successful. Do you say, "They're lucky"? Or do you say, "What can I learn from them"? The poor feel jealousy. The rich feel inspiration. You might ask, is there someone who used admiration for successful people to build her own success? Let's look at a real story. Was born in Clearwater, Florida, United States, 1971. She grew up in a middle-class family and sold fax machines door to door. She dreamed of becoming a businesswoman and constantly studied the stories of successful people. She came up with the idea for and started with only $5,000. Today, in her 50s, she is considered one of the most successful businesswomen in the world. And now, if you begin to see successful people as a source of inspiration, how do you handle the size of your ambition? This brings us to Rule 9. Rule 9. The rich think big. The poor think small. Small thinking creates small results. Big thinking opens doors you never even saw. The poor ask, "How much do I need just to survive?" The rich ask, "How much can I build?" You might ask, is there someone who thought big from the very beginning? Let's look at a real story. Was born in Surrey, England, 1950. He grew up with dyslexia and was seen as a weak student. But he never saw himself as small. He saw an empire in his mind. He founded the rewire, which includes airlines, music, telecommunications, and space ventures. Today, in his 70s, he still thinks bigger than most people. And now, if you start thinking big, how do you manage your time and energy? This brings us to Rule 10. Rule 10. The rich focus on results. The poor focus only on time. The poor say, "How many hours did I work?" The rich say, "What did I accomplish?" The difference is not in effort, but in the value produced by that effort. You might ask, is there someone who focused more on results than on time? Let's end with a powerful example. Does not measure success by hours worked alone, but by tangible results. Global electric vehicles, reusable rockets, worldwide satellite internet. Yes, he worked long hours, but his main focus was always, what result are we going to achieve? Today, we explored 5 additional rules. Rules that don't just change the way you think, but change the way you act. But the journey isn't over yet.